Namaste everyone. We are going to study the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, written by Robert Frost. The outset of this poem is that the speaker was on his way to his destination when he comes across a beautiful sight. There were dark woods filled up with snow. This also indicates that it's the time near Christmas because the evenings is dark. The poet, through the speaker, says that I think I know whose woods these are. He says, whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. In the first stanza, the speaker feels that he can guess who can be the owner of this place. It can be a villager who lives in a nearby village. But he feels relaxed that he can't see him stopping here and watching at his woods. He feels that there's nobody to stop him. And it makes sense because it is so dark and it is so late that there's hardly anybody to look at him. Second stanza, he talks about his horse. He says, my little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. The speaker feels that it might be something strange for my little horse because we have stopped here without any farmhouse nearby. This is not the routine. They have stopped between the woods and a frozen lake. They're on the way, and it is such a dark evening. Here the speaker is also trying to say that there is no practical reason to stop here, so it can be a strange thing for the horse. So, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. The third stanza. Feeling awkward and strange, the little horse of the speaker shakes the bell, the harness bell, as if the horse is asking, have we stopped here by mistake, master? And the speaker says that one sound was made by the harness bell. The only other sound was the sound of easy wind and the downy flake. Now what's highlighted in this stanza is that the place is so quiet that even the softest and the most pleasant sounds are audible here, which makes the poet, the speaker, relaxed. And he feels like staying here for more time. Move on to the last stanza. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. The speaker says that these woods are so beautiful, so soothing. They're mysteriously dark and deep. They're so attractive. But I have promises to keep. He shows his wish to stay here for long, but then he reminds himself that I have so many promises to keep. He says to himself that, no, I can't stay here for more time. He realizes that he has miles to cover before he can take rest. And he repeats the line because he wants to convey another message, that every human being has so many responsibilities to fulfill during the lifetime before they finally sleep or they die. On the whole, this poem is an experience of the speaker which he had on his way to his destination. It comes across like a story. He stopped, he roamed around, he felt that the horse is a bit restless, and then he moves on the journey. This is the apparent and the literal meaning of the poem. But Robert Frost has a unique style, and his style is majorly covered up by the symbols he uses. Now we will discuss some of the symbols the poet has used. These are the major symbols Robert Frost uses in this poem. The first one is woods. The poet, when refers to woods, he wants to talk about the temptations in life. He wants to talk about the beauty and mystery of world, of death. And he wants to convey a message that whenever we are moving towards our goal, there are so many distractions. There are so many distractions on our way. They deviate us, and it's up to you. How do you move on, leaving those temptations behind? The second symbol is village. In fact, the farmhouse can also come in this category. He wants to leave behind the society and civilization. He feels that the nature has a very soothing effect, and a person can feel relaxed only in the company of nature. He wants to leave behind the society and civilization and just wants to stay there in the woods. But it's not practically possible, isn't it? And here, there's one more symbol, snow. When he says snow, he talks about the beauty of death. So when he talks about the dark evening, snow, he's not only talking about the weather, but also talking about his own mood. He's upset at something, he's distressed. That is the reason he has come here, and he wants to stay here because he felt relieved. After the symbols, let's discuss the beautiful rhyme scheme and the form and the structure of the poem. Those who don't know how to make the rhyme scheme can observe and learn this. While making the rhyme scheme, we have to observe the last sound, the sound of the last word in each line. Like this is no, the sound of O is given the symbol A. The rhyme scheme always starts with A. It moves alphabetically. Second sound is also do. It's same like no. So it's again A. Here is a different sound. So we have given it another symbol, which is B. Next is snow, which is same as do and no. So it became A. So the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is A, A, B, A. Same way we move on to the second stanza. Queer, near, ear. They have the same sound like this here. So this same symbol will be repeated. B, B, B. But lake is a different sound. So we have given it another symbol, C. Stanza number 2 has the rhyme scheme as B, B, C, B. Move on to the third stanza. Shake, mistake, and flake is same as lake. So C is written here. And sweep is another sound, which will be symboled as D. So the third stanza has a rhyme scheme as C, C, D, C. And look at the last stanza. The last sound in each line is same, deep, keep, sleep, sleep. That's how we call it an iambic tetrameter. DD, DD is the last stanza's rhyme scheme, right? So that was the form and structure of this poem. We have also discussed the symbols, but one thing is left, that is the theme. As per the reader's perception, it can have more than one theme, but majorly this poem, according to my perception, has one theme, which is the confusion of human beings to choose one from work, responsibilities, or leisure. And it comes in every human being's life. This confusion is confronted by each and every person. When the speaker confronts this confusion, he prefers his duty. He wants to stay there in the woods for a long time, but he remembers his promises and decides to move on, right? So that was the theme, that there are worldly temptations and distractions on our path when we are moving towards our destination. But what one should do, one should curb the desire of leisure and move on towards duty. Duty comes first. This is the message Robert Frost gives away through the last stanza of the poem, and that covers the majormost theme of the poem. So we are done with the topic. Thank you so much for listening.